We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about you can have it all, but just not at the same time. What the heck does this mean to you?
I know, it's kind of sounds kind of vague. Like cake and eat it too kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I just think timing's everything.
Okay.
And some people can handle a ton of, some people can, I don't know how they can do it. They can have 6 kids and launch a real estate career and do great.
Can they?
I don't know.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in depth.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Jeremy wrote, in a recent Would You Do This deal, Steve and Jill mentioned they would like the deal better if the offer price to buy the land was lower than the mailer offer price. Wondering what type of strategy or language anyone can share about how to go back to the landowner and try to negotiate / offer a lower price for the land. Any suggestions are greatly appreciated. I've done this many times.
This is like created for Jill.
Yes.
So we're going to listen to her.
Yes.
But Would You Do This Deal is a program that we have on every Thursday for Land Academy members. I guess it's around 3:00 Pacific time, where we all get together on one webinar. We do this every week, and people submit their deals and we all talk about it.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. No, don't do it. Here's why.
Right. We answer all kinds of questions. And that's just one of the things that we do is, would you do this deal? And it's fun because then we get in. It's usually because it's someone submits it. They're on the fence about it. And they want our input. Here's the property. And we look it up state, county, APN. We all look at it together because it's all visual too. And they say, I've got it locked in at, $3,000, let's just say. And so Stephen and I will go in and look at it and go, oh, it's usually right away. We all pull it up and we go, oh, we see it. Yeah, and if we have that reaction right away, usually it's where's the access? What can you do with it? Because it's like a slope like this.
Yeah.
It's like a, 45-degree slope or something crazy. So what happens is, right, so we've said, hey, it's not a kick it to the curb, not a total pass, / however, I wouldn't pay $3,000 for it. I'd pay $1,500 for it. And here's why. So now Jeremy's saying, well, this is great. Now, how do I go back and do that with them? So what we usually do is I'll go to them with that information. I'll present an email with a picture or a map and my reasoning why. Hi, Mr. Smith, I know I offer $3,000. Have you seen the property? Because let me tell you what I'm staring at right now. I did some research and I can tell that access is an issue. And we may or may not be built on it. Only this one area I think I could do something with, or whatever the issues are, things like that. And then I say, and because of all that, the best I can do is $1,500. If that doesn't work for you, I get it. But this is my best offer, based on all the information that I've now found, since I sent out your offer. And that's legit. It's honest, it's real, and I obviously don't love it. That's the thing too. You gotta, when you're going back with these new offers, revised offers, if you will, there's a reason for it. Because come on, let's be honest. We've all priced it pretty darn well. Jeremy, you're in our group. So I know you did your homework and I know you came in good. If it was a beautiful, stellar property that didn't have whatever issue we're talking about, $3,000 would be fine. But now you're staring at it going, shucks. I can't do it for $3,000. There's no way I could get what I need out of it. I can't sell it for as much as I thought because of these problems. So what you have to do is just go back to the seller, clearly state the problems, give them a new number, and it needs to be a number that you feel really good with. Don't just give them a new number because you feel like you have to because you made them an offer. If you made them an offer and you don't want it at all, just go back and tell them, I don't want it at all. I'm super sorry. I did some more research. This didn't meet my criteria at all. I wish you all the best. Move on. But at your $1,500, it needs to be a number that if they say, okay, I'll take the $1,500. I'm well aware of those issues because usually they know, then and you're like, okay, well, at $1,500, I price it that I have to buy it. And it makes sense to me.
Here's what's important to remember in this whole career. You have complete control over the deals you do. And I mean complete control. The way that these offers are written and the situation that you're putting yourself in when you send out all these offers is, I want to buy a property for $3,000. If it comes back and you really feel like it's worth $1,500, then do it at 15 or don't do it at all. Never do a bad deal. There's no reason you would ever say, oh man, I sent him an offer. We got all this information. Now it's like, I really think it's worth half of what I sent. I got to suck it up on this one. That never has to happen, ever.
Correct.
That's what separates this business model from a ton of other business models out there, I think. Like, let's say owning a convenience store. You're in complete control. You have complete control and you don't have any real sunk costs that you have to, well, because in some businesses, it's like, man, I got to sell all this stuff out because I have to pay rent this month. And so you don't have to, all those, if you've ever owned a business, there's a lot of decisions that you constantly are making and you're saying to yourself, I wish I didn't have to do this. I wish, I didn't have to pay this rent, pay all this payroll, or order this stuff from this guy because I know it's too expensive. None of that happens here. Today's topic, you can have it all, not at the same time. This is the meat of the show. I wrote this topic because the number one issue when Jill and I ask members who are not doing as well as we think they should be, the number one thing they say is, I don't have enough time and I have all this other stuff going on in my life. And so I started using the sentence a long time ago, and I guess I want to share it here on, in front of the camera. So what does this mean to you? You can have it all, just not at the same time.
Well, what you started to say in the pre-show part makes sense to me. Like, you think you can successfully have 6 kids and 6 companies and, 6 homes and all of these, like, super easily. And take 6 months of vacation. Let's imagine this. All right. This is the dream. 6 kids, 6 companies, 6 cars, 6 months vacation. Do you think you can do that all super easily? I'm not sure. I do not think so. I think something's got to give because you have to focus your time on something. Because if you're pouring all your energy into your companies and your kids are suffering, you're pouring all your energy into your kids and your company's suffering. You could pour out all your energy into your cars. Now your wife is suffering. So I know you're going to come back and talk about scheduling. And
yes,
I think that
How did you know that?
Because I know you. And I know you too well here, but I still think that there's a cap. Go ahead. Well,
I think that the title of the show tomorrow actually is called Obsessive Calendar Scheduling. So I'm going to leave the scheduling part of it for tomorrow. But I really think there's times in your life to do stuff, and there's times in your life to kind of put yourself second. And then I think it comes back around where in the early retirement age where it's all about you again. So, if on your bucket list or your priority list is getting rich, well, you know what? Here's mine.
Okay. I like this.
Get and stay rich. And I mean crazy, exceeding your expectations, grossly exceeding what it costs you to live every month. And Jill and I were talking before the show, her at the very tip top, like she didn't even hesitate. She said, I want freedom, like freedom with my time. So you can have all this stuff. I think you just have to be incredibly organized, and you have to say this to yourself in the mirror very honestly. And Jill just did in a different way. I can't do all this stuff at the same time. I do want to have these 6 cars, but this just might not be the right time because the kids are still little. I do want to get rich and stay rich. And the earlier I start out down that path, the higher percentage of possibility that it's going to be successful. So, I'm just about done with a book called The Stuff Your Father Never Told You. And that's kind of what this is all about. Like, you can't do all this stuff at the same time, but you can do it all. You just can't do it at the exact same time. And the real tragedy in this is if you try to do it all and you fail, and you will fail, then you think it's like, real estate is just not a good vehicle for me. And that's just not the case. You just didn't spend enough time on it. I learned that the hard way in college. I've got 4 classes or 5 classes. I'm spending 80% of the time on the classes that I like. And the other ones are kind of getting kicked to the curb, and the grades reflect that.
Doesn't everybody do that?
Yeah.
I watch that. It's funny. I watch that with our staff. Like we've have some new projects that we're working on right now. And I watch people in our office. I'm like, they're only working on the fun stuff. All the other important stuff that needs to get done is getting pushed down and down and down the list. I'm like, all right, this is not cool, but it's normal. We all do it.
Absolutely.
So kind of like dating. I'm gonna bring it back to dating. You should only date the fun guys. That's what I did. I'm serious. I think that you should do that anyway. You should never adjust. Yeah. Why would you ever not date somebody who's fun? I agree. Oh, they're out there though.
Oh, I know. We can make this about dating really quickly if you'd like.
People do it. People get in relationships and they stay stuck. I'm like, why are you stay stuck?
The best way to solve this, all kidding. Yes, they do. All kidding aside, the best way to solve this and the best advice I have is to don't get married too soon, don't have children too soon, and don't have a mortgage too soon, if ever. Those 3 things will permanently stop you from being successful. And if you do that stuff, and this falls into, you can have it just not at the same time, do it like in a light way. Mm-hmm. Choose the right person who's really on the same page with you and wants the same income level. Have 1 child instead of 42 children. And if you have to have a mortgage, and I know there's some people, Jill and I have to this day have friends in this crazy expensive neighborhood that we live in are just bent on having this crazy mortgage instead of just renting. That's not helping anybody or anything. So you just make these decisions. Choose the thing that you really want the most at that time and do away with the other stuff. It'll all happen later. Does that make sense?
I love it. Happy you could join us today. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I hope you're listening there too. We are on the House Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the House Academy Show is called Obsessive Calendar Scheduling. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Oh, I can't wait for that one. Tomorrow.
If somebody said, if somebody said, hey, this calendar, because this happens in companies with software all the time. Hey, Steve, this calendar thing that you've been doing, that's great, but we changed it all. So you can't use a calendar anymore. You have to figure out something else. Or here's another tool. It's called a Franklin Planner. And we think that this is going to help you be more productive. Or here's a notepad. Honestly, I say this truthfully. It would cut my productivity down and my organization and my morale by like in half.
I know, and I'm sorry. We don't mean to do that. The Land Academy Show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listener. So wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.